Hey friend, welcome to day 18 of our watercolor tip a day series for World Watercolor Month. Today we're creating beautiful organic textures with Saran Wrap. Let me show you how it works. Alright, so today's watercolor tip is a super fun texture technique using just your paints, water, and plastic wrap. This is one of my favorite ways to create organic, natural looking patterns, especially when you pair it with granulating watercolors. And if you're not sure what granulating paint is, it's basically watercolor that naturally separates and it settles into the paper texture and it creates this grainy, almost mottled effect. We're going to dive deeper into granulation in a future lesson, but today's a great intro because the plastic wrap really enhances those granules and gives them space to do their thing. So I'm using Daniel Smith Undersea Green right here and Raw Sienna. These are two gorgeous granulating colors. You can use whatever you have, but these ones just give that beautiful earthy vibe that I'm going for. So I started by wetting the entire page with clean water. You want your paper to be very wet, but you don't want pooling or dripping or any puddles. You just want it nice and juicy so that Saran Wrap can really press into it and leave impressions. And as you can see, I'm kind of leaving some white space. I'm adding some paint and just kind of letting it do its thing. But I'm intentionally leaving that white space because I want to put other colors in there, and then I also want some lighter and darker areas so that this technique actually is interesting looking. Because if we just put it on one flat layer, that might be cool. You would probably see the light of the paper when you lift the Saran Wrap. But with more colors, you're just going to get a lot more texture, a lot more variation. So all that to say, I'm just leaving some space for other colors. I'm adding in some raw sienna. I've got some cobalt dark green here, I believe that's what this is. And I'm just blending that in until I'm happy with my result. I want to add some splatter effect, some uncontrolled splatter, because in nature, nothing is perfect. Everything is sort of organic. So I'm just kind of doing some splattering, and we're going to go into splatter in a future lesson as well. And then I'm just darkening up some areas before I get the cling wrap out and do the magic part. So I'm just kind of shaping it in my hand a little bit and making it nice and crinkly. And then when I'm happy with that, I'm going to just lay it on top. And this is the fun part. So you're just going to move it around a bit, let it stick in some places and float above the paper in others. You want crinkles and folds. You don't want it flattened down too much because you want that plastic to do its thing. The variety in pressure and contact points is really what creates the best texture. So if it's popping up too much in one spot, just gently press it down a bit, but still keep the air pockets and texture. Like, just think chaotic, messy, intentional. And once it looks good, leave it to completely dry. I usually let mine sit overnight. You can try using a heat gun if you're in a hurry. Some people do, but I prefer just to let the paint and plastic work naturally. And now it's the next morning. So now we can gently just start to peel that off, and you can already see those natural and organic patterns that it left behind. It looks so cool. You can see up close, you can see that granulating effect. See where the paint is sort of settling and moving around. It looks like it's just natural materials, so it looks really, really cool. This almost looks like stone. It's got a very abstract feel to it, so you can go in and you can add some textures over it. So I'm using some Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White just to highlight some of the shapes. You can also use gouache, pastels, more watercolor. We're going to do that in a little bit. But you can almost make this look like it's underwater. There's so many different things you can do. You can sort of carve out some stones inside of that blank space there. It's just so much fun. I really think this would be really cool as sort of like an underwater scene, like you're looking down at a stream or a river or something. And maybe if I had a little bit more browns in there, it would look like river rocks or some grays. But we could do some almost like movement of water over top. You can make this look like something totally new. There's just so many different things you can do for this. So I'm not going to do the entire thing. I'm just showing as an example in this demo to keep it short and sweet. But I'm definitely going to go back in and add more and finish this up in the future. But I'm just having so much fun highlighting the edges here. And like I said before, you can use other materials. So I have a little pastel stick here, and I just want to add some almost like mossy or algae texture. If this was gray stones, I could add some white to create texture. And I'm really just experimenting. I'm just playing. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's sort of like, oh, if you see something and it looks like something, make it into something. But now I'm just going to go in and again, I'll carve out another stony type thing in there. And I'm using a darker paint to carve out some shadows. And that's just another way to make this interesting. So now I just want to show you another one that I did at the time. I didn't film this one. I just felt like playing on a different paper. And look at this texture. This is just so much fun. I used different colors sort of for this one, and it's just, the possibilities are endless. You'll never get the same result twice. I love the texture in this, and I'm just doing the same thing. But I saw this technique done by a creator named Blomking. It's just seriously addictive once you try it. You can do this on all different types of things. You can add texture to mountains, you can do landscape, anything. This is just one of those techniques that's great for warming up, loosening up, or really just getting out of a creative rut. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I got a new watercolor tip or technique every single day this month. Come back tomorrow for day 19 and we are diving into scumbling. Yes, it is a funny word, but it's super easy and a super useful technique for adding texture and depth to your watercolor pieces. Thanks for being here, and I will see you back here tomorrow.